Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my Twitch stream. I'm your host, Zerberus, and this is the 1 hour a day Cities Skylines build. Yesterday, or I should say last episode, we added some highway connections in, tore out part of the roundabout that was originally on here. We're probably going to tear all of this out eventually, as of all of this infrastructure that's in here, or modify it at least. And we built a backbone for a fishing industry, which I think we're going to start working on first. So without further ado, cheers, and let's get to it. Beer. Gotta love beer. 1 second, my headrest is attacking me. There, much better. So, unpause the game. We don't currently have any population growth. That said, we do still have some room we can expand into if we really want to. But I'm kind of tending away from making this into residential. I'm more likely to add more high density residential over back here. But right now what we're primarily getting is industry demand, so let's do some work on that. Anchovies. We can buy fishing harbors and fish farms. Out of city limits. Why is this jumping around like that? Oh, because of the water constantly coming up and down. Because these are just so close to the coast. Power won't be a problem for very long either. But I would like to change the roads in front of these, and I think we have a mod on that we can actually, that allows us to actually do that. That's the node controller, that's the intersection marking tool. We may have a mod on that allows us to do that. I'll have to check which one that is, where it is, and how exactly it works. So we'll just start off with these two fish farms. For now, we'll actually just go with a very simple one on, one off solution. In fact, actually, no, we'll go with they don't have power, but they're already sending out fish. And here we'll plop in the fish factory. And I'm sure we have warehouses somewhere. And I'll set that to consumer goods or commercial zones goods. And that's the beginning of our little fish industry. Basically, they bring it to here, and they bring it out to here. And so, since we're now a fishing town, we're probably going to want a fish market somewhere. And this is probably where our traffic isn't going to go completely to hell. That fish market is quite large, isn't it? So... oh, wait a sec, did I even ever reset this to historical? Just in case? Don't think I did. So now, where's that fish market? Yeah, we can fit this in here if we knock out all of these connecting roads. What is that? An elementary school. Well, we don't actually need that in here anymore, do we? What with being a commercial zone? You know what, we'll just unzone in here. Because if there's no zoning, then even historical buildings won't stay standing. And that'll give us room to put in our fish market wherever we want. We'll actually even...
The Brontosaurus. For millennia, these gentle and graceful giants roamed the earth, grazing off the lush vegetation of the time. Their mere existence transformed the landscape and made a lasting impact on our world. It's that legacy that Dino Oil is
wait a
proud
second,
to
I want the
continue
straight road tool.
by using their eons-old dead bone goop to fuel your five-door
What we want to do
wagon,
now is take that
making
fish
it the
market
oldest form of
and put it
recycling
on
there
so that
is.
it's right in the
Dino
middle.
Oil. Embrace the power of
That
bones.
way, people can still get to it, but it's really just on its own off of this road.
Boy, Deep Thought, thanking you personally for joining us at the Deep Focus channel.
Because as you can see, it does still have road connections. So now we add some more low density back in. And now we'll use the surface painter to add some gravel back here. Didn't want to go quite that far into cemetery with it. That said, that's also gravel, so it really doesn't make a difference. And what I'd like to do is just put like some props back here, like just some, how should I say? Do we not have... I get a feeling I may be missing a mod that I'm... In fact, I'm 100% sure I'm missing a mod. Oh, we don't have the More Beautification mod installed. That sucks, because that means we can't put in like all the containers and things that we wanted to put back here. So that's gonna have to wait for next time. We can, however, put in a fence. Not a fan of that angle. Tossing some palm trees around the fish market. I would have been very surprised to find the props I'm looking for in here. Then again, nah, didn't think so. It looks okay. We need like some bushes and things like in front. Cemetery needed. Because of because of 5 dead guys, or what? Where's one of them? So much room still? I don't see a cemetery as being needed. So... no, that's not gonna work. How about some bushes? That one's a little bit overgrown. So, and then we have a fish market and a fishing industry. Obviously they're a little bit far away. Ah, provides a health benefit for citizens living within its radius. So, yeah, nobody. Once again, using the game mechanics to their greatest advantage. Or not. So we have another full landfill. And we need to slowly but surely start putting up a bigger city. What's the story on this? Ooh, they're actually already full, even though they're set to balanced. So, but that's good. That means commercial zones shouldn't run out of goods anytime soon. Even though we only have these 2 fish factories running, which is really kind of these 2 little fish farms running, which really isn't that much. So we'll toss in a little bit of offices over here. Just like the heads of the International Fish Conglomerate or whatever. In fact, you know what? Will we drop in a 3rd fish farm? That's too early for that. But that's really, really well connected. Actually, it's not particularly well connected. Because if they come up here, then they... Yeah, then they have to go all the way down there. So we definitely need a more direct connection. Well, as dumb as this may sound, we're just going to throw in another one of those. Snapping back on still doesn't help. Okay, we'll just do it this way. Slope too steep, really? I don't think that's that extreme, to be honest with you. Okay, so then we'll just put it in back there. And reroute these. That actually only has to be 1 lane. Be 2 lanes here. And then we'll put 1 lane here going off. Immediately going up. So that we can get over. So. That should work much better. Merging lanes. The idea being that then we can take additional lanes coming off of here and going to other, yeah, well, industrial buildings, basically. Without necessarily having to connect them up in any specific way. So, what's the story on traffic? 83%, even though we now have a fishing industry. Oh, that's right, they still don't have power. Oh yeah, they do. They have power, yeah, because we have electric roads, yeah. So yeah, there's a little bit going on here, but not too much. And now they can just get back into here much more effectively. That said, that's going to turn this into a new high throughput avenue if we're not careful. And thank you, Sapme, for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So, that's right, we just did that. Oh yeah, there is a reasonable amount coming down through there still. And I think it's probably now time to consider the destruction of well, the final removal of the monstrosity that once was. Although, back here in residential, it's actually not even that horrendous. I think we can actually live with it for a little bit still. Famous last words. So we'll just dump some more industry back in here and see what happens. And then we're probably going to need to start looking at expanding our residential, most likely onto the other side of the highway. And now we're getting some commercial demand again, which was to be expected. And that's why they're just waiting to get evicted. You know what? No, we'll stay with low density around those. That actually looks better. Not having these huge shops directly on the same block as the fish market. It helps it stand out a little bit more. A building is flooding. Well, we have an anti-flooding service for that, so get to work. You guys, what are you doing? Why do we have a flooding building? Well, actually, they're not there to stop the flooding. They're there to control the problem after the fact. Did I? Yeah, we set that up to 4. Okay. I'm still thinking. Well, actually, that's right. They can now get on there without any problem. Oh, this is... off from that highway is coming from there. Yeah, it's still working reasonably well. I'm not stoked with the traffic flows. We just built around the original setup, which was this, and there was also another roundabout here, and yeah, they were included with the map, so we decided to use them, and Wasn't the best idea in the world. Kind of forced us to then into using larger roads here than we really wanted to. Oh, wait a sec, there's a... Not that that really makes a difference, but... Yeah, we've just got too much pedestrian traffic going over there. It's just an insane amount. You know what? Maybe we can just... Maybe popping in an automatic pedestrian bridge here will somehow... Oh, that could be worse, actually. But then we need to also definitely pop that in there. The whole idea is that they can use this. No, no. I want you all using this. Oh God, no, we don't want to. Well, there's your problem. Yeah, now there's just tons more cars that can flow through here. Still getting a bit gummy, especially back in here. So we may want to add a second way to get back onto the highway in here somewhere. That said, we actually haven't even set a single heavy traffic ban yet, which is actually surprising. Stupid cell phone. 1 second. Yeah, take care of yourself, Icing Game. See you next time. So, now they're wanting more commercial, a bit more residential. So, yeah, it's basically time to turn this into high density as well. 1 block at a time. So we're going to want a pedestrian path going in there. Yeah, anarchy is a wonderful thing. Although sometimes it'll leave you with a tree or two in the middle of your path. Probably won't be able to remove that. No, but I can move it. I'm thinking that the low density at the edge will probably also either be turned into offices or into high density, depending on what exactly the traffic situation looks like. Maybe even commercial. We'll have to look. But for now, it's about filling in the high density residential. And just getting a few more people in here. But yeah, over here basically every district has some form of park or large clearing or something like that. Whereas on the other side it's just all much tighter commercial and industrial. Or better suited to commercial and industrial, I should rather say. They're actually still legit complaining for more commercial space. Okay, we'll give it to them. We'll actually put another office block back in here. And just some out here as well. Basically the administrative head of whatever fish industry that is. I wish we had more progress so that we could just start really just unlocking the whole map and start like building like farming satellites and things like that. That said, we're at 23,000. We've got 59 a week coming in. Not too much, but enough for growth. And you just want to click on set historical every so often, especially where you've rezoned, just to make sure that we don't wind up with high rises everywhere. And in fact, you know what, we may as well knock out this last little bit of low density residential. And then we've got some low density commercial in there just to make sure the truck traffic doesn't get too extreme. Some very light high density commercial just here on the very edge. And they're still screaming for commercial and industry space. When's our next upgrade? We now have 2 full landfills. Set this one to... What's the story on garbage? Well, we're making 10,000 a week, so... Add one more of each, or 2 more rather. Because I think as far as like the monuments and things like that go, theoretically we should actually have all of this unlocked anyway. 10,000 squares of industrial zone, that's a joke. Fill 3 instances of cemetery. Since we only have cemeteries, that'll work. That'll eventually come. All tax rates at most 4%. We can do that when we've got money. That's gonna happen anyway. That's gonna happen anyway. Defund the police for who knows how long, okay. Oh, that's right, because because we had to reinstall. That's right. Ah, so it may actually be worth popping the ultimate mod back on, just so we can get some of these things. Although I think, yeah, I mean, come on, we're heading for, our goal is 50 million, 500,000 people at least, so, I mean, it's not really gonna be a problem. Yeah, most of these are gonna come up by themselves, so to speak. We might want another high school out in here, though. Well, they have 2 high schools. They could use a 3rd one out here, though. Yeah, you know what? We'll put that right here. And that also tells me that Thornton Heights needs to be set to historical. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even been able to set that. Basically, I shouldn't have been able to set that. Oh, they didn't. No, they didn't need another high school at all, I don't think. No, not at all. Well, actually, they can use it. That's not so bad. We'll just leave it in there. And next to the park, doesn't look too bad. So what's the milestone again? 32,000, right? And then we get a harbor and other things. This still isn't ideal, but it is kind of working. What's interesting is that so many people are using that line, and not nearly as many are using this line. Oh, probably because they have to go up here. It's just basically longer for the same distance. We may be able to do something with traffic flow here. Just like basically like create like a small roundabout or something like that. But then they'll just force this flow through here. Or maybe it'll actually, if this is the way that they can come, maybe they'll actually come through here that way and through here the other way. You know what? We'll find out. See if forcing them... so we need anarchy here. And of course that knocked out our bridge, which absolutely sucks. But that's quickly put back in. would be better. Oh, put a traffic light in there. Let's see where exactly they want to go. Yeah, they're all headed into these areas. None of them are headed out of the city at all. Well, occasionally one or two. But basically all of this traffic is either trying to go over here or go that way. And so that's why changing it up to here wouldn't even make a difference. And I think what did actually help was the way we had it before, which was with this being a 4-lane. And you know what, I think we'll switch this to a 4-lane too and see if that doesn't
Coffee, fuel of the
give
modern
us at least a light.
the age-old Italian tradition of burning beans and drinking the bitter bean juice. At Burn Bean Coffee, our
What's the word I'm
environment
looking
is
for?
perfect for all of your work needs.
At
There's no
least
better
some
place
light
to be
relief.
distracted than the Burn Bean Coffee Shop and Cafe. Our coffee technicians are trained to make a variety of coffees and sugary coffee-themed drinks just as you want, all while generally making more noise than anyone could reasonably ignore. So drink up and let the productivity flow. Sippy sip coffee fans, Burn Bean Coffee. Get it while it's hot. Due to recent court actions made. I'm famous chef Tony Magoni, owner of Tony Magoni's Steakhouse. And when people ask me where I get my award-winning meat from, it's from one place, Meaty Bits. No matter what you need, be it a smoked pig, goat by sunset, or a 10-foot alligator in a salty brine, Meaty Bits
And
will
we'll
get it to you
hop in
fast
that
with a
pedestrian
smile
bridge
and
here again.
friendly without judgment. So, if it's good enough for Tony Magoni's Steakhouse, why
So
not
they can
be
get
good
back
enough for
over.
Joe Public's home house? Yeah. Get in touch with Meaty Bits. Tell them Tony sent you. Meaty Bits. If it ever was alive, they can get it to you dead.
Deep thoughts for the days.
In fact, we'll actually put another one of those up here.
Welcome to the Deep Focus Chamber.
And then also, once again, add our junction restrictions. To keep people from running across what's basically a highway. Yeah, that seems to be allowing cars to flow much better. Doesn't really do you much good to add new roads if pedestrian traffic is your problem. And that does appear to have been the case. In fact, we're still down to 76%. Oh. Big fail. Big fail. I set all of these up with bike paths only. And of course now they're gonna try to get their way back in. Oh, can I not set that up with these park paths? Okay, then we'll have to just use pavement paths. These are all bicycle only. Now, people are starting to use them. Because now they can use them. Those do not appear to be... No, this is a bike-only path. That said, all of this back here may not even be so bad anymore. We'll keep an eye on it. Out here, on the other hand... Oh, walking paths only do a little bit of good without the according junction restrictions. Nah, but that's not so bad because almost nobody wants to use that road. Yeah, it's looking much better. Ah! That's not what I wanted to do. The only thing that was supposed to go was that pillar. Okay, so we'll try that again. Much more reasonable. Now over here doesn't seem to be so bad anymore. And the path definitely helped. Oh, but I'm not a fan of the way that one is. Oh, much better. And now we can move this one down as well. And of course this one. These are all just super dimensionally high. Absolutely no reason for anybody to have to walk up that high just across the street. And overall, this is still not running perfectly. Far from it. Fishing industry causing or having any sort of problems? No, not really. Everything's doing just fine. And I guess it's time to introduce more commercial expansion.
Tech cameras. If you want the best, you've got to go big. That's why our cameras are the biggest on the market. Our shutters the loudest.
And to expand residential, we're going to have to start
Cameras aren't paperweights.
opening up
They're
new
tools.
areas again.
Tools used to create. In
That
fact,
said, we
the most
can
valuable
still
camera is the one that you're afraid to take outside. Vault-Tec.
turn these
Only
into
the
high
best.
density.
A positive mindset is one of the most powerful tools we have to influence our days. Even if things aren't going your way, focus on the bright side. Send good vibes into the universe, and the universe will send some right back at you. I know it can be tough on days when you're feeling down, but give it a shot and experience
Maybe we can still hit that milestone today.
Need a helping hand to get started. Here's a track to set the mood. As always, I'm Default. This is the Deep Focus channel.
Because this is actually going to expand, increase the amount of available residential space significantly. We're replacing buildings that can carry, I think, up to 4 families with buildings that can carry up to 20. Depending on just how many of these we destroy or unzone, I should say. We could actually really blow past those, what is it, I think 32,000 or something, quite significantly. But you know what, no, we'll leave those few little townhouses on the beach just for giggles. Well, you don't have to worry about the fire. Oh, it's a shrub, not a piece of zoning. Okay. So now we just want to make sure nobody gets stupid ideas. They're still screaming for commercial and industry most, though. So further expansion is necessary. So, yeah, this is just turning into a large commercial block now. And we'll have to expand our industry a little bit. That was a bit surprising. Fact. Didn't you just say I could build there? Ah, with anarchy I could build there. That's what you're trying to tell me. don't really want to make this only offices. I would like to get some of the actual industry demand controlled by it. Well, you know what? Just do it that way. Some people might decide to use this to flow back, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Another set of famous last words. Get an office block with a chewy industrial core. Let's see if that doesn't spur some population growth without us having to expand our commercial zone all too much more. Sorry guys, too late. You gotta go. I'm not sure why that was ever low density commercial. You know what, these two blocks are also going to wind up having to be high density commercial. Especially if we do actually want to hit those 32,000. Before we end today. And that's what I was afraid of, we hit those. Oh, oops. Kind of should have expected to make this mistake. They definitely should have expected it to happen. So it's entirely their fault. So, and now we have basically zero demand, 10,000 income, and 110 people a week moving in. So let's just go into cinematic mode for a few minutes. See if there's anything that isn't a glaring problem. Overall, it looks to be reasonable. This is probably somewhere, who the hell knows where. But yeah, this is a good time to drink beer. In fact, I'll grab a quick smoke. Don't worry, I'm still here. Grabbing a quick smoke with me is generally not, it doesn't involve me having to leave the premises or anything. Yeah, so industry just basically isn't moving in yet, but that's okay. Just gives me room to move into. Maybe we can even start pushing them out of our commercial zones. Is there a traffic light there? This is near that original park that we did with those beaches with those huge ones. I think this is coming along nicely. Those beaches may actually still be just a bit too much, but yeah, I think long term we'll probably start downloading like some building themes and start giving areas like their own specific personality. Because otherwise it all just really looks like mixed and generic. Okay, for the most part it is all mixed and generic, so that's also part of the issue. We don't have any specialized industries in yet, or specialized commercial zones, so that's part of the reason why everything just looks so mixed and generic. Because that's exactly what it is. Where is this?
The Brontosaurus. For millennia, these gentle and graceful giants roamed the earth, grazing off the lush vegetation of the
I
time.
seem to have
Their mere existence
misplaced my
transformed the
lighter.
landscape and made a lasting impact.
Oh no, there it is. I found it.
That legacy that Dino Oil is proud to continue by using their eons-old dead bone goop to fuel your 5-door wagon, making it the oldest form of recycling there is. Dino Oil. Embrace the power of bones.
I'm famous chef Tony McGoney, owner of Tony McGoney's Steakhouse. And when people ask me where
So,
I get my award-winning meat from,
let's see how much closer we've gotten.
meaty bits.
Uh,
No matter what you need, be it a smoked pig,
28,006.
10-foot alligator, and a
So we're getting there.
meaty bits will
Watch
get
It
to
Mod
you
is
fast,
complaining we
fine,
have
and completely without judgment. So,
elementary
if it's
school
good enough for
availability is an
Tony
issue.
McGoney's Steakhouse, why not be
Which
good
is a bit
enough for
interesting
your
because they're like
Brontosaurus?
dotted around everywhere, so it
Get
really
in touch
shouldn't
with
be.
Meaty Bits. Tell 'em Tony sent you. Meaty Bits. If it ever was alive, they can get it to
We
you
can
fast.
probably put one like on that road,
This is deep thought.
or
Welcome back.
yeah, right here next to the park.
This channel.
And we'll knock out 3. So where else are they having issues with that? So I guess we'll just put one out here then. That should sort them. Is that not set to historical, or does that just not cover that area? No, it's set. Okay. And Thornton Heights also needs to be set historical. Because I shouldn't have been able to just build that. High school availability, that's much more believable. If there's an issue there, especially since there's no high school at all over here. They do have an elementary in there somewhere, right? Yeah, they do have an elementary, so we'll just drop their high school on the other side of the road. So, quickly, briefly unset historical. Throw in their high school. And reset historical. We don't want too many high schools, and we don't necessarily want one over here at all, because this is going to become commercial anyway. University, obviously, we don't even have one yet. That might actually be the next thing we put in. Maybe like exchange some of this for a university campus. I think that would actually this would actually make quite a nice university campus, I think. And it's also somewhat central. Not too hard to get to. Have to think about that. Anything else they're hurting for? Crematoriums. Yeah, but we're working with cemeteries. We want to fill these, if at all possible, first. Not exactly. Where can the police not reasonably get to? Well, I can change that. By simply anarchying right through those buildings. And now police can get in there. Slight lack of police back here. And fire. So we'll just add them here on the end of the main drag. That was totally the wrong building. That's also fire, but wrong kind of fire. And that should mostly sort them. We're probably going to have to start using fire helicopters eventually. And the industrial area back here is just totally not set at all for any sort of fires. So we'll actually put a fire department right in here. As well as police. And that should solve that a little bit. Garbage availability doesn't really seem to be... Oh, this is police. Anybody who's not getting served? No, even them out here. So that doesn't seem to be a major issue yet. Now they want residential, some commercial, not very much in the way of industrial need, which is good. In fact, we'll just make sure that everything back in there is zoned. Oh, I didn't want a zone here inside the park, though. That was on purpose. With very few exceptions. Yeah, that looks more like what was intended. Well, this can stay zoned. This can't. So, what does the traffic look like? 76%, yeah, because this has now become a main, one of our main roads, basically. In fact, I think we might be able to slightly alleviate that by taking these two roads and no longer extending the industrial area out to here, so to speak. That said, a lot of vehicles are still going to want to come here, but I think more should start filtering off up here. I'm hoping. Yeah, let's take a quick look at the routes. No. It's absolutely not what we wanted to do. Yeah, it's just all the traffic trying to bring stuff into this commercial area as well. But I think when we start pushing our industry back a little bit, that should start helping to alleviate that. Because once you get into the commercial area, it's really not that bad. Except on this one specific road. And here, because a lot of people appear to be filtering in here to go that way. Does appear to be. And back here it's getting really bad. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to slightly redesign the traffic route here. And by that I mean a little bit more than what we've done, not just adding in like an extra slip road here and things like that, but really actual redesigns. A lot of traffic. Yeah, so this is by far the most heavily used part. That said, it's all pretty heavily used. Yeah, but most of the industry traffic is actually coming in from there now.
At Sternberger, our
I
cars
may
are
have spoken
more
too
just
soon.
hunks of metal that take you from point A to point B. They are also composed of industrial plastics, polymers, and others. We also know it's what's in the car that is more important than the car itself. And that's why it can also carry up to 300 kilograms of human, animal, or consumer goods cargo. The climate control device brings the air temperature to 22 degrees Celsius. It's our way of making our cars comfortable.
Yeah, traffic gets really bad out in
It is
here.
a perfect vessel for transport
In
from short
fact,
to
you know
medium
what?
distances
That's
for
right, we
what
can use
do.
asymmetrical
The price we're
roads here.
asking is fair trade for the value transport.
That'll also give us
Sternberg,
turning lanes.
more than just an auto.
And we'll maybe
Hey there, friends. Today I've been thinking about weather. That
improve the
cozy
flow a
feeling
bit.
you get when the world outside is softened by rain, and all the sounds just blur together under the gentle drumming of the clouds. That's what we're all about here at the Deep Focus channel. But you know, sometimes you can get lost in that kind of world. Stay inside and hide from the gray skies. To all of you out there caught in the rain, remember you're no fresher from tomorrow.
Yeah. So what I actually need there is a double line. I'll figure out how this works later. But it's putting that underneath that solid line. That's not quite doing it the way I was hoping it would. My God. I think part of the problem is that they're actually making deliveries. So maybe, as dumb as this sounds, we can get by better. Oh, and I also noticed they don't have... Yeah, so maybe we should give them all dedicated turning lanes first before we start building more roads that we probably don't even need. That's something we actually need to do basically along the entirety of the industrial area. There's like places that are connected to the main roads. And that may actually... Oh yeah, it's humming along much more nicely. Just by giving them dedicated turning lanes. Why is this 3 lanes? This should be 4. That explains it. If they're bottlenecking like that. Two to turn and 2 to go straight. And in fact, we'll upgrade these to three-lane asymmetrical roads. And I think starting here, it's not really much of a problem anymore. Just so that they always have 2 lanes for straight and 1 for turning off. There's my mouse. And of course we also want to make this entire road a priority road. Well, it already is, so. Well, actually it wasn't a priority road out here, so that may actually help. Back up to 76%. This doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it just did. So it's definitely an improvement. Is it enough of an improvement? We'll see. Long term, definitely not. I said long term, this won't be an industrial area, so. Yeah, I think we've gotten our expansion for today more or less done. Honestly, can't really think of anything sensible to start with, even in the short amount of time that we probably still have left, assuming we're not even already past an hour. We're already at like an hour and 30, so yeah, we're just gonna wait for that milestone, and that's gonna be stream end for today, or build end for today, because now we get the harbor, we get the cargo harbor, football stadiums, the advanced eco inland water treatment plant, and I think in combination then with the offerings of the Umbrella Corporation that are sending by an emissary tomorrow, I think we should be doing just fine. So yeah. This has been, what, part 6, 7, something like that, of the 1 hour a day build. You guys have been great. I've been Zerb, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.